And somebody's not very happy.
I had the best route, and now I have a shit route.
Arrived in Tennessee.
The palpable love and bliss that I feel.
And somebody's not very happy.
I had the best route, and now I have a shit route.
Somebody's holding on to the rope. Murphy is not. Murphy is totally relaxed. Aww. Tennessee, entering Central Time Zone.
I had a great view of open highway. Big 4-lane concrete, beautiful.
Are you fighting
now
what is right now?
Beautiful view of a shit sucker truck.
Are you fighting what is right now?
Whatevs. Yes, I am. I'm fighting what is right now.
As long as you know what you're doing, right?
Apparently I'm a master.
So this is how we travel. Listening and watching the Eagles game.
Hey man, what's up? What's up? 60 yards rushing all day. That's how it's done.
As we're driving. You threw on that hat real fast.
I got a hair day. I had a hat hair day.
I wanted everyone to see your hair day. This is traveling. This is a traveling day. All right, we arrived at our spot in Tennessee, just outside Nashville. So we just took her off. We just took her off the truck, but this is a pretty flat spot. Obviously, it's a concrete pad, so you're usually pretty good to use the auto level. It's saying it's level, although let's go test it out with this handy dandy guy. And then what we do is we set this baby right here, upside down, right side up.
It needs to go up.
Needs to go up. Just not much, just a hair. And then we'll check this way. About level. Okay, so now we begin the inside setup. All right, so when we were going, the knives fell, which usually they don't. The knives fell. All right, finally got it out. I had to shove those back in there. Whew. This is our internet. So if you guys are wondering how we do all our streaming and internet, this be it. We take it with us inside the truck when we're driving so we can use it. And then when we get here, I just plug it back in. It's about 6:30 a.m. and we had someone ask about our daily practices or routines that we have to keep in our own alignment, to keep our frequency high and to keep ourselves connected. So that for me starts in the morning. It's not a travel day, but it is a work day. So I get up about 6:30, usually 6:30, 7, somewhere in there. And I'm gonna go do some meditation. So that will be my first personal practice of the day. So just got done with my breath work and meditation. I ended up doing something really different today. I just felt called to just sit here in silence for the first 25 minutes. So I did. I just did a meditation, just sitting here in silence and opening my focus. And then I decided to do my root daily breath work, which I hadn't done in a while. A lot of times I'll just do the solar plexus daily or create your day activation, just, the 15-20 minute couple rounds of rhythmic breathing and breath retention. But today I just felt like I needed to clear out some root stuff. And so I did that. And then I did a 45-minute meditation by Steve Noble. It was a journey into the Akashic Records, into one particular lifetime. That was pretty powerful, pretty powerful. So that was my practice for today. Typically, lately anyways, I have been doing Joe Dispenza, You Are the Placebo, the newly created one, or I'll do sometimes Tuning into New Potentials or The Courageous Heart, which is actually created for men. But usually I've been doing You Are the Placebo, the remastered one, a lot in the last 2 months probably. But I also like to switch it up, and I just like to listen to whatever I'm feeling called to do that morning. And so now I'm gonna go get my coffee, and then I will do my practice with sitting in front of my altar. Well, first morning in Tennessee, and wowza, is it different than what we've been used to waking up to? The wind is blowing, it's raining, it's all gray. Apparently, welcome to Tennessee. Wow. Well, our first day in Tennessee. What did we do today?
We went to the store and we got, what did we do? We went to the store and we got alcohol, moonshine, Crown Royal, because it's cold. It's freezing now. It's freezing for us. And what else did we do? And we went food shopping. And
made stew.
Made some beef stew.
Did some laundry.
Yeah. And yeah. The other two things I wanted to do,
because of this,
but it was really cold
outside.
It's been a very
cold day, cold
day.
And rainy day. So Murph looks about like we've looked all day. I did do some exercises.
As much as I would like.
This is it. Hello, Tennessee. Well, what a difference from yesterday morning to this morning. Look at that sun come up. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Wow. I have to tell you guys, it is so cool. This happened at an RV park we stayed at in Florida once, but it's so cool to walk out and see water, just water in your windows. There's actually steam coming off the water right now. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just something about, the view of walking down here and just seeing water is just, oh man, just so freaking grateful. Well, with the nicer weather, we decided to head to downtown Nashville, where it is an alive music scene. We got to go to some of the famous bars, eat some of the great food, and probably one of my most favorite parts was going to the Johnny Cash Museum, where you could see a lot of his memorabilia, a lot of his music. It was really, really cool.
After we were done in Nashville, we did decide to head to Memphis for just one night. We went to the outside of Graceland. We did not go into it, but in all fairness, Memphis was not our most favorite place, and we probably won't be back there, at least not anytime in the near future.
My evenings.
This moment, I don't think anything could be better than what I'm experiencing right now.
You ready to go back out in the cold, Murphy? Are you ready to go back out in the freezing cold? Are you ready? Do you know you have the most beautiful eyelashes? Look at those eyelashes. Look at his little mouth. Look at how freaking cute you are, Murphy. You're the cutest boy.
I'm surprising him. He has
She's
no
torturing.
idea. He has no idea what he's doing in this video. I just said I'm gonna hit record. That's the way I have to do it with you, or else just whatever. Anyway,
Please tell me more.
so we had a question. We had a question come in, and somebody wanted us to create content around something. And I always say in the description of every video, if you want us to create content around something that would be helpful for you, let me know, and then we'll tag you in the comments. So this was sent in by Anahata.
I will not dance. I won't.
She wanted to know from both of us what are some of the practices or things that we do to stay connected to our spirit, to stay connected to our spirituality. What are some of the things
Nature.
that we do on a daily basis? What do you do?
Nature. Thank you very much. Next question, please.
You also have another really important practice you do about every other day.
I do. I have, I mean, you know, it's kind of funny because, you know, obviously I have meditated for a long time. I have done breath work for a long time. But I don't have like a specific day-to-day practice that, oh my God, it's 6 a.m. I must do. I don't do that.
What are some things that you would say if you don't do, like what are some things you know that you have to do, even if you don't do a specified thing every single day? What are some things that you know you have to do? Because
I have
if
to
you
be
don't,
aware.
you'll get...
I have to stay present and in awareness of where my mind goes. If my mind starts being fearful about something, I have to come back and ask myself, that's interesting. Why are you scared of that? Or if something shows up for me, I have to come back to it and say, that's interesting. Why do you think that showed up for you? What did you put your attention on? Because we live the life of what we put our attention on shows up. But the ego is blind to that. The ego knows that too. And the ego wants you to stay in the illusion of certain things are fearful, certain things are bad, certain things are pain, right? When something bad happens, usually we regurgitate it over and over and over again. If you keep regurgitating the bad things that happen, then you're never going to see the good thing because that's where your attention is, right? It's a loop. So I try to intersect the loop as much as I can by being aware of where my mind is. And so how do I do that? Okay, this goes back to the meditation. My life is a meditation. My eyes are closed, or they're not. Even if I'm laying down, my eyes are closed. I'm in a meditation. It's who I am now. My practice has gone, all up the scale. And now I do a daily dose of ketamine. And that has been the biggest game changer of all. I cannot recommend it enough. I do small doses every day. And not so much every day now. I did for probably 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Now I don't. Now I'll do it a couple times a week.
Yeah.
But
And that seems to
and
be
it,
how
and
it
it
kind of
because
works.
it lasts
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It really lasts.
Yeah.
Not the effect of it, but
Yeah.
the mindset
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
It just clarifies everything and puts you in this place. So when you do go into that not so good place, you don't see it through your ego. You see it through a higher dimension. I don't know how else to explain
Well,
it.
I think that the thing is that the ketamine has helped you to further use and understand the tools you already had in your tool
100%.
bag, which
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
in other words,
Yeah.
you knew.
I use them better now.
Right. You knew before
I
when
knew-
something was coming up, you had to feel
Right.
it. So you don't take the ketamine now to get away from
Yeah.
that feeling. You actually know, no, I need to feel this feeling.
Yeah, I knew I could cut wood before. You know, I knew the tools that I had. I could cut a straight line. Now I'm doing bevels, I'm doing miters, I'm doing, you know, some amazing joinery. And my mind does not get taken by the ego and down the rabbit hole of fear. How am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for this? What are we going to do? I don't do that. I trust that there is a universal force that is leading the way in front of us. That is probably the greatest feeling in the world when you can just relax into it. And you know what happens?
Crazy.
When you get out of the way of it, it just starts showing up. The proof is there every time.
is
As
so
soon
funny.
as we think, oh my God, or what are we going to do? We get a message. You're not going to believe what happened. And then it all irons out.
So ironic.
Again, an amazing... So if you have
awareness is
Yes.
definitely, would you say, awareness during the day is one of your
awareness, awareness when it shows up. It's not like I sit there looking for it, but
No,
when
no,
a thought shows up,
right.
that's
Yes,
when.
yes,
And then when something, you know, when I'm in that higher vibration, when I'm feeling good, right?
Yeah.
When something shows up that says, well, maybe this is an opportunity for you, we tend to move in that direction now.
Yeah.
We tend to trust
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
doubt it. We trust it.
So, in other words, back to the original question, which is what are the practices that we use? So, to sum all that up, he uses ketamine.
That's a lot.
He uses ketamine meditation. He uses ketamine with his meditation,
And
he
beef
uses and beef stew is the perfect tool. And awareness and observation, I would say, is what you were saying, because you're able to observe when something happens now.
That is correct.
So for my spiritual practices, it's a little different for me. Unlike him, he can sway like that. I think I need to be a little bit more grounded in some practices and reminders for me. It's really, 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 really important to me because I can sway off. So I took a video yesterday morning. You know, I will say, like him, I don't have a regular thing that I have to do every day. I switch them around, but they include obviously meditation or breath work 5 out of 7 days a week. Now, depending on if we travel, then that sort of sets what I do in the morning. But 5 out of 7 days a week, I do a breath work or a meditation, usually a 45-minute to an hour meditation. If I go 2 days without meditating, I know, I feel it in my body. I feel my mind start to get active, so I know, okay, time to meditate. The other thing that I'll throw in there is after my meditation, I'll sit at my altar now and do some practices there with lighting sage or Palo Santo. I pull myself a card, I sit with my crystals. I go through this book, which my son got for me. It's amazing. If you guys want to learn more about stones and crystals, this is a great book. It's really been helpful
Carries
to
a little
me.
crystal pouch.
I do now. I carry a pouch and I pick in the morning what ones I need. Your energy will attune to their energy. So I pick which ones each morning that I feel like I intuitively need to work with that day. And then, as he said, awareness. I think this has come from Michael Singer, which is just literally every moment having awareness, being present, not going off onto some story, watching, observing the mind, not necessarily trying to stop it but just observing it, letting it do without trying to fight, resist, whatever it may be. So I think for us, you know, when people ask, well, what's the structured, I mean, I definitely have things, you know, I do my intention and gratitude journal. I don't do that every day. I maybe do that 3 times a week, but at least something I do
for me, I do something every day that helps me connect to my spirit, to my soul, to the universe, to God. I do something every day because that's important for me to keep that connection. That has been the most important thing for me in the last 4 months as we dove deeper into just letting go of our human selves, ego selves even more. And so those practices. I think the other thing is now, I didn't do this before, but I have visual cues all over. Like I never had an altar before. I now have an altar in our bedroom and out here. And every time I look at it, it makes me feel connected. Every time I look at that altar, I feel happy. I feel like, oh, there's home. Like that feels like home to me. And so we have the miracle. Like I have plants now. Plants it makes me feel like there's life in here. I'm connected to Mother Nature. Like, so it's simple. It's not just a regiment of this and this. It should become how you just live. How do you live? And I think him and I, especially going on the road, it is now like how we live. It isn't just theory, it isn't just knowledge, it isn't just, well, if I do this meditation this many times a week, then this is, it will never work that way. Because that's the ego saying, oh, if you do this, it'll make everything feel better.
And I mean, listen, it hasn't worked for us that way. Maybe
Right.
It does work for people that way. I
Totally
don't know.
true. Totally
and
true.
when we say anything like that, it's just for what we do.
100%.
If you do and you found your practice, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Totally.
No,
Totally.
We all,
Yeah.
we all, what do we call that? We all have free will. You can do.
Yeah, and like he said, I mean, 8 months ago, what I do wouldn't have worked for me 8 months ago. So
Yeah.
it's an evolving thing. I would say if I'm giving anybody any sort of like advice or recommendation, find the thing that works for you.
Yeah.
Find those things that
Yeah.
work for you.
Yeah.
That even if it's a 10-minute thing, I once heard Michael Singer say, which I love, he said, I've known people who meditate 3 hours a day and they still don't know how to deal with life. Because meditation isn't just for when you're in meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation is to live your life better.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
what meditation is for.
I mean, that's what I get excited about in
Yeah.
a meditation or even a ketamine journey. I can't wait to get back in
Yeah.
the game. This being the game where I
Yeah.
can touch something. I can touch and feel something, It's tangible. It's the experience, right? When I'm out of body or whatever, out into the ethers, then it feels amazing, but man, to be in it, to actually touch, to see color.
Another thing, actually, if I'm really thinking about a practice that you and I don't even realize is a practice, but we probably do, that is going to be really helpful for people who don't pay attention to this, is actually literally pay attention to everything that you're letting in your brain. Everything that you're letting in your brain.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Even if you know it's not good, at least you're conscious of it.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Also, putting down the freaking distractions. So now, sometimes when we go out, I will leave my phone, just so I am not distracted. For me, I can get so attached and distracted to my phone. So that's another really simple practice. Like, just, you gotta disconnect. And like you said, nature
helps you do that. Anyway,
all right, so
this has gone on way too long.
Those are our practices. You talked for maybe 10 out of the
No,
11 out of the 16 minutes.
False. See,
We're gonna have to go back and see.
Put it down in the comments. I probably talked more this time, but she goes on sometimes.
I think that they call that a reflection.
Whatever. Anyway.
Those are our practices. If they work for you,
Yes.
great. If they don't, find your own that work. That's all. Goodbye.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of Our Life on the Road. We hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps our channel. If you enjoyed the content, share it with a friend. And don't forget, if you want us to make content around something that you feel would be helpful for you, just let us know in the comments. We will see you next week in Arkansas.